Welcome to Chop Rich's Japanese Language Training Center. We provide an online tutorial for people who aspires to work in Japan. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on our lessons to help you master Japanese language in no time.
Konnichiwa, hello. Welcome to part 2 of our lesson 4 discussion. In today's topic, we'll be discussing about telling time in Japanese. All right, so let's start. Hajimemashou ka? So the first sentence pattern that we'll be discussing today is Ima nani-nani ji, nani-nani fun desu. So we all know that ima means now in Japanese. So this sentence pattern typically means telling the time now. So to express time, the counter suffixes ji and fun are placed after the numbers. I believe we've already discussed this topic before in telling time in Japanese. So ji is o'clock and fun means minutes in Japanese. Fun is read as fun if it comes after 2, 5, 7, and or 9. And then pun if it is after 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then you have to remember also that 1, 6, 8, and 10 are read as ipun, ropun, hapun, and jupun before pun. So there's like a double letter P. Okay? Please do remember that. Now, let's see an example using ima, nani-nani ji, nani-nani fun desu. For the question, if you want to ask someone the exact time now, or if someone will ask you the exact time now, you'll hear them say, ima, nanji desu ka? Again, ima, nanji desu ka? Or what time is it now? So, for example, let's say the time now is 7:10. Ichiji juppun desu. It's 7:10. Again, ichiji juppun desu. You could forego the ima because since the asker already stated ima, of course, your answer would be the time now, isn't it? Okay. Wakarimashita ka? Wakatta ne? Now, let's move on to a new particle that we have to use when we're referring time. And that particle is ni. So noun, which of course is the time, ni, and then the verb. When you want to state something or an action happening in a certain time. So the particle ni is appended to a noun indicating time of occurrence of an action. So let's see an example. Rokujihan ni okimasu. So I get up at 6:30. Your noun here, which is the time, is rokujihan. Then we have the particle ni, and then of course your verb is waking up. So I get up at 6:30. Another example. Ichigatsu futsuka ni nihon e kimashita. Again. Ichigatsu futsuka ni nihon e kimashita. So I came to Japan on the 2nd of July. So we all know that when we say time, it doesn't just refer to the hour and minutes, right? It could also refer to day, month, or even a year, or any occurrence of an action. In the second example that we have, the speaker states the exact date he or she arrived in Japan or came to Japan. So again, Higatsu futsuka ni nihon e kimashita. So I came to Japan on the 2nd of July. Karimashita ka? Wakatta ne? Now, even though we said that we have to use ni in stating the occurrence, date, or time of an action, it doesn't always appear that way. There are certain nouns that doesn't use, or certain nouns expressing time that doesn't need ni as a particle. So these are the examples, or these are the nouns expressing time that doesn't need particle ni. We have kino for yesterday, ashita, tomorrow, asate, kyo, ototoy, kesa, and so on. All of that in the list right now. So right now, I believe you should know the meaning of this Japanese terms, right? This noun expressing time, because we've discussed already. If there are nouns expressing time which does not use the particle ni, there are also nouns that expresses time which may or may not use ni. Okay? I'm sorry, there's an example. So with the following nouns, the use of ni is optional. The yobis or any days of the week, okay, let's say the getsuyobi, kayobi, and so on, that using ni is very optional. The asa, morning, hiru, noon, ban, and yoru for the night. Using ni is very optional. For example, we have Nichyobi ni Nara e ikimasu, or I will go to Nara on Sunday. Nichyobi ni Nara e ikimasu. So, I will go to Nara on Sunday. In a Japanese sentence, you may or may not use ni. You could also say Nichyobi Nara e ikimasu. It would mean the same. Alright? Wakarimashita ka? Wakatta. Now, let's see how do we say in Japanese when we want to state the starting point of a thing and then when or where it will end. So with that, we'll be using N1 kara, N2 made, wherein kara means from and then made means up to or until. So kara indicates the starting time or place, and made indicates the finishing time or place. So let's see the example that we have. 9時から5時まで勉強しました. So I studied from 9 to 5. Again, 6時から, which means from 9 o'clock, and then 5時まで, which means up to 5 o'clock. So the starting point of this one would be the 9 o'clock, which is the 9時, and then the end point or the finishing time is the 5時, which is the 5 o'clock. All right. Then how about a place? All right. When we're traveling, we have to start at some point and then finish or arrive at a certain point, right? So with that, we have Osaka kara Tokyo made 3時間かかりました. So the starting point of this sentence is from Osaka, and then the end point is Tokyo. Again, let's read that again. Osaka kara Tokyo made 3時間かかりました. Or it takes 3 hours from Osaka to Tokyo. Always remember that your starting time or place is stated with kara, and the finishing time or place is stated with made. Wakarimashita ka? Wakatta ne? Now, you have to remember that sometimes when we're stating a certain starting point or place, we don't know when or where we'll end, right? Yes. So with that, always remember that kara and made may or may not be always used together. For example, 6時から働きます. I start work at 9. The speaker may have said that he or she will start working at 9, but then again, he or she doesn't know what time exactly the work ends. So you could just state the starting point or kara in a sentence. Again, 6時から働きます. And then to indicate the starting or finishing time or date of a noun, okay, introducing topic kara and made can be used with this. Just to be polite in a sentence, you can use it with this. Example, 銀行は9時から3時までです. Okay, again, 銀行は 9時から3時までです。So the bank opens from 9 to 3. Or the bank opens from 9 o'clock to 3 p.m. The starting would be the 9 o'clock, and then the finishing time is 3 o'clock. And again, if you don't know the exact ending point or the finishing time or date, you could say, 昼休みは12時まで、12時からです。Sorry about that. 昼休みは12時からです。The lunch break starts at 12. Okay. Adding this, showing or making the sentence more polite. わかりましたか？わかったね。Now, let's use another particle which is to. N1 to, N2. Can you guess what's the use of to? Okay, so the particle to connects two nouns in coordinate relations. Again, this connects two nouns in coordinate relations. So, let's see my example and then can you guess the English counterpart of to? Okay, let's try this one now. 銀行の休みは土曜日と日曜日です。Again, 銀行の休みは土曜日と日曜日です。In English, the bank is closed on Saturdays and Sundays. Now, seeing the English translation, can you guess what is the English counterpart or English translation of to? All right, very good. It's and. Based on the meaning of to, it connects two nouns in coordinate relations. So in the sentence, 銀行の休みは土曜日と日曜日です。Okay, to is and. Right? Saturdays and Sundays. わかりましたか? Isn't this the easiest particle to remember? I bet it is. So other examples would be enpitsu to kami, or in English, pencil and paper. We also have pan to tamago, or bread and egg. Remember, we use this to connect two nouns with coordinate relations. All right? Now, in typical Japanese or in watching Japanese anime and Japanese drama or talking to some Japanese, I know you've heard of the particle ne at the end of, not with some, but I believe most of their sentences, right? So what does the particle ne mean? Ne is just attached to an end of a sentence to elicit agreement from the listener. So this is also to check that the listener has understood or emphasized something to the listener. When the speaker wanted to emphasize something to you or just wanted to know if you really understand what they said, they could attach ne at the end of the sentence. Okay. Example. 毎日10時まで勉強しました. I studied until 10 every day. 大変ですね. That's tough, isn't it? Again, let's check this one out. When someone said, 毎日10時まで勉強しました. I studied until 10 every day. Someone would respond as, 大変ですね. That's tough, isn't it? See? We just added ne to the end of the sentence to elicit like a sympathy or understanding towards what the listener said. So in English, it could be literally translate into isn't it? Okay. Seeking approval that it is tough, right? Something like that. And another example would be in this sentence, Yamada-san no denwa bango wa 871の681です. In English, Mr. Yamada's telephone number is 8716813. And then if you want to confirm it, we could say 8七1の681ですね。871-681P, right? See, we're just seeking or asking for a confirmation from our listener when we say ne. Okay, like when we're asking about today's weather, if we want to confirm that today's weather is good, itenki desu ne. You could just say itenki desu, but then you wanted to elicit an approval or an understanding from the listener that it is indeed a nice weather today. So, itenki desu ne. Wakatta. So this is more of like a confirmation, okay? Wakarimashita ka? Wakatta ne? All right, that's going to do it for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be updated with our lessons so you could master Japanese language in no time. Bye! Mata ne!